All right, we're going to give everybody one more minute. We're going to get started. Thank you for joining today's webinar. This session will be recorded, and you'll see the link via email to play back the recording. Today's session is Best Practices to Future-Proof Your Contact Center with Omnichannel. All phones will be muted during the webinar, and we'll unmute the lines at the end of the presentation for any questions. My name is Rich Fox. I'm going to be your presenter for the day today. I've worked in the contact center space for a long time. I've worked on both sides of the fence, so to speak. Running large contact centers and having the privilege for the last several years to be responsible for the contact center practices and products, being responsible for the products and solutions here at Evolve IP. And I'm going to share sort of the collective experiences of myself and the hundreds of customers that we've implemented over the last several years as well. So thank you for your time. What we're going to cover today are the needs and drivers for an omnichannel contact center, some of the challenges faced from an adoption perspective, criteria to consider when you're looking at providers of omnichannel solutions, how to increase customer engagement, and then strategies and tips to maximize omnichannel for your contact center. So let's get started with a couple things. As consumer technology has changed, so have expectations around how customers interact with companies. As contact center leaders, you know that customers expect the ability to interact over multiple communication channels, including email, text, web chat, social media, and phone calls seamlessly. So no surprise that 95% of clients use more than one channel to communicate with companies. We obviously all choose the channels where we're most comfortable and believe we can get the quickest response with the least amount of effort or the least amount of aggravation, depending on your perspective. No surprise again that many customers are frustrated when they have an inconsistent experience across those channels or have a bad experience altogether. In order to keep customers happy, we want to keep them happy and we want them to stay. So if we make them unhappy and they walk away, of course they typically tell all of their friends via social media these days. So, what do these numbers tell us? Businesses that actively engage in customer communication via multiple channels and provide customers with the flexibility to communicate via their preferred method are more likely to attract and retain customers, improve customer satisfaction, and increase the bottom line faster. Customers still want self-service options in addition to the various agent channels in addition to. So if I can get my answer the quickest and easiest via self-service, then I'll take that route, and so will many customers. So why omnichannel? In the past, customer service inquiries, concerns, requests could be handled via one channel, the phone. Today, customers choose from multiple channels to communicate, which makes it critical for organizations to not only quickly attend to their customers via phone, but to be available via all their preferred communication channels their customers want. So what you want is something that provides a seamless customer experience. You want to enhance your customer service and all-important customer satisfaction. You want to be able to differentiate yourself competitively. And obviously, we want to make our agents very productive and efficient along the way as well. So let's talk about multi-channel and omni-channel. We hear those terms a lot these days. By definition, the prefix multi means many, which isn't really that much different from the prefix omni, which means all. So this has led the contact center solution providers to kind of use these words interchangeably. However, functionality-wise, multi-channel and omni-channel communications are very different, especially when you look under the hood at how these solutions are architected. In a multi-channel contact center solution, businesses have the flexibility to choose from several channels of communication, such as phone calls, text or SMS, web chat, web callback, fax, social media, etc. However, these channels operate in silos that hinder customer satisfaction, hinder management visibility, and the overall effectiveness of the contact center. And one of the key reasons that these solutions operate independently is they're often different technology solutions under the covers. Either the contact center has chosen multiple vendors to provide these services, or the contact center technology vendor has purchased disparate solutions and tried to make them look like a single solution. It's kind of easy to tell once you sort of start looking at the underlying technology, how it's administered, and how things like reports are generated, which start peeling back the layers of the onion to start being able to really see, is it one solution or multiple solutions. In an omni-channel contact center solution, businesses are offered the flexibility to pick their preferred channel of communication, just like you would in a multi-channel solution, but it offers the additional benefit of these channels being integrated. All the channels are available to the customer and are connected at the same time, enhancing customer experience, improving agent efficiency, and increasing overall satisfaction. In these solutions, a single technology is being used to manage all of the communication channels, which greatly simplifies every aspect of the system. Here at Evolve IP, our contact suite provides a true omni-channel solution that includes a single set of routing logic across all interaction channels and a single place to administer the entire system. All interaction channels managed by a single routing engine that enables a seamless customer experience across all channels. A personalized interaction for each customer, regardless of how they interact with the contact center. An integrated contact history across all the channels right at the agent's fingertips that empowers the agent to deliver great customer service. And consolidated reporting out of a single database that means that leaders have a complete view of their contact center without painful or time-consuming process of combining multiple reports from multiple disparate systems. So let's talk about some challenges to consider when you start thinking about omnichannel. So our goal is to deliver efficient, effective customer service across all those channels that enhances satisfaction and ultimately boosts loyalty. But let's talk about some of the challenges we could face from an organizational perspective. And we see this a lot. There's some, at each organization, who owns which channel of communication, what tools are being used to be served, and even are the goals the same. In some cases, the contact center has some of the channels. In some cases, other departments have the other channels, which leads to how are those teams coordinating? How are they offering a consistent customer experience? Who is answering those interactions and interacting with the customers? And more importantly, who owns the customer experience? And how do we make sure it's consistent across every communication vehicle? From a technical perspective, is there a single source of truth for all the customers? Many organizations have not one, but multiple CRMs or a combination of different technologies that are the things that we need to sort of have that single source of truth from a customer experience perspective, and how well those systems are integrated and how accessible are those systems. Can data be accessed in real time? Is it only available on some periodic basis or batch basis? Makes it challenging, a little bit more challenging when you don't have the most up-to-date customer information in your hand, as well as being able in real time to be able to store that information right back into the CRM in real time as well, so that if I take an interaction this afternoon, I know that somebody an hour ago was also with my organization, might have been interactive with that same customer. Is there one or more routing and reporting engines that need to be replaced? Is there today? Is the data available in real time that we talked about? And sort of an age-old challenge that, we continue to face, we face for years and face, every day in most organizations is, do I have enough IT staff? Do they have the capacity? Do they have the bandwidth? Do they have the resources? Do they have the right prioritization to really engage to make this project, a success? And then thinking about what other technologies are needed, along with to further support the agents. Do we need knowledge bases? Do we need scripting tools to help sort of steer that conversation for the agent? And finally, from an operational perspective, are universal agents a myth or reality? So can we have agents that can handle all the different interaction types? One moment I'm on a phone call, I finish that call, maybe I'm on a chat followed by an email. We talked about the universal agent, and many organizations still are not ready for that kind of structure. And once we start adding in chats and emails and social media, what are the qualifications for somebody who can do not only the spoken word, but the written word? And how does that change from a KPI perspective and a compensation perspective for those agents? Are they more senior? Do I move up from the phone to the non-phone channels? Is my compensation different because my written skills are more eloquent than others? And how many simultaneous interactions can each person handle? So can I handle 3, 4, 5 chats? I've had one customer who thinks it's great that their agents can handle 15 chats. They thought it was a smashing success. I would differ, but that was their prerogative. But how many can somebody really physically handle simultaneously and still deliver great service? And then finally, for those of you thinking about workforce management, how do you forecast the volume? How do you schedule agents for those non-voice interactions? Where does that data live? How does it make its way to the workforce management solution? And so just some of the key challenges that we've seen customers face, along the way when they're engaging and delivering an omnichannel solution. So for many of you, that contact center is the lifeblood of the enterprise, and anything you can do to improve results, is a major win. Omnichannel is a competitive differentiator, and it plays a critical role in enhancing the customer experience. And so here's some things to consider when you're evaluating or thinking about a new contact center solution. We talked about this one already, but it should be a critical element of your evaluation, which is there truly an omnichannel experience? Is there truly a platform under the covers that is a single solution that allows me to deliver without having multiple sets of administration, multiple sets of business logic, multiple sets of reports? There's a really one entity underneath that's sort of one engine, so to speak. In today's world, the contact center needs to seamlessly integrate with existing business applications like a CRM so that agents can operate with less desktop applications and leadership gains valuable insights when the contact center data is married up with the business or transactional data. And what I mean by that is, sometimes we get so caught up in our piece of the pie, so to speak. So I had a customer who was working real hard. They were getting inbound potential sales leads. This was a large dental organization, and they were measuring their success on how many of those calls became scheduled appointments, which is great. So how many of those leads that we generated via radio ads or TV ads turned into a person that was willing to make an appointment with a particular dentist on a particular day. If we stop there, we say, oh, great, we have a conversion rate. For every 100 calls, I get 65 appointments. I'm doing awesome. Well, if you stop at just the contact center data, then that might be your plan to flag a success. But when you take it a step further and you start marrying in other sources of data, and in this customer's case, bringing in the data from their operational systems, we learned that those 65 people that made appointments, if those appointments weren't within the next day or two, people didn't show up. So now we had an appointment, but we had a dentist sitting there with no revenue, nobody in chair to serve. So once we sort of brought in the additional sources of data, and you can look at it from a more holistic perspective, you realize, well, in order to increase my revenue and maximize my efficiency, I got to pull those appointments, make sure every appointment is within 48 hours. Otherwise, my no-show rate it dramatically increases. So having that perspective is very key. Obviously, you want a provider where price and value are strengths, which will help magnify the financial ROI. We all live in a world of ROI justification, so being cost-effective or value-oriented will certainly help in that case. And now we're going to spend a little time here talking about something that has really been a big source of topic in the industry and with the customers that we've talked to, and it's really around a unified solution versus an overlay solution or an over-the-top solution. So let's shift gears for a moment and talk a little bit more about that. So in an overlay scenario, what we mean is we have a contact center solution that is separate and distinct from a PBX or unified communication solution. So we have our sort of cloud-based ACD answering calls on headsets via soft phones, answering calls on any DID, might be somebody's mobile phone, somebody work from home, or it could be delivered to somebody who's working inside the corporate walls using the corporate premise-based or corporate PBX. And what has happened is there's a lot of challenges with that when you have two disparate solutions that customers are getting frustrated with. And so let's talk about some of them. So let's work off the premise of I have a cloud-based contact center or ACD. Calls are getting delivered to a Cisco, Avaya, name your favorite premise-based solution to keep it simple, and being delivered an agent answering calls on their normal handset. What happens in many cases is if I pick up that handset, forget about it, it's not an inbound call, I get a call from somebody in HR or another department, the cloud-based ACD isn't aware that I received that phone call, and then will try and deliver me a second phone call because their systems aren't integrated. Similarly, extension dialing, picking up that handset, I take a call through the ACD, gets to my handset, and now I need to transfer it to another department. I can't necessarily do that from my handset or to other people outside the contact center because they're two disparate systems, so I can't just dial the extensions. I've got to go out the front door and come back in as well. Or I can't use my handset at all. I have to use my piece of software client in order to do every kind of transfer so that the call actually makes it to its destination. Or maybe I want to transfer a call to somebody in the back office, but I want to see if they're in a meeting or on another phone call. I can't see that from the contact center solution. Or I can't see my phone directory. So I want to call somebody, I want to call the accounting department, I got to send this call to AP. I don't want to manage via list of printed out phone lists. I just want to type in, accounts payable and send the call off. You can't do those kinds of things. So there's a lot of challenges that the customers are facing when they work with sort of two disparate solutions. So let's talk about a case with one of our customers here. So a credit union in the Chicago-based area. Typical story, bunch of locations, aging phone system and easy to replace, critical call center, overburdened IT staff, and really looking to have a whole new solution. So they chose Evolve IP for both the contact center and the unified communications solutions. So what the outcome was is that they were able to have a single solution. They were able to have better capacity. They were able to save money. Their IT staff was freed up to do moving from patching and sort of mundane non-value add kinds of things, focusing on the things of more strategic impact. But importantly, from sort of unified versus overlay solution, there was no issues. There were no call delays. There was a single contact history across the whole system. You can extension dial across the entire enterprise, as well as having sort of the enhanced recording that they were looking for as well. So A little bit of a tangent there, but an important thing to understand when you are picking an omnichannel solution is strongly leaning towards something that offers you a unified solution, or at least going eyes wide open if you're choosing an overlay solution, knowing sort of the challenges that you'll face is key. And that's something that's not talked about as much, but getting a lot more attention these days. So our fifth criteria here is another common trend we're seeing is not just mobility. Mobility, people can work from anywhere these days, not just mobility outside the office, but ability to work from any desk. So what we're seeing is more and more customers are leveraging open seating where anybody can work from any desk. Of course, we still want the mobility to operate from anywhere outside the office or work from home too, but this is something that has really increased in demand. We're seeing a lot of organizations shifting to not having dedicated desks, dedicated things, phones assigned to people. You show up, you grab an empty desk, and basically log in, and the phone takes on your identity, and off you go. I've worked, as I mentioned, with hundreds of contact centers over the past few years, and I'd say not one customer said to me, I have a big enough IT staff, or my IT staff is well equipped to support my needs. I'm guessing you have sort of the same challenges, and if you don't, then God bless, and you're very lucky. So the solution you buy must be easy to operate, so you can take back those reins of control from IT. You want a solution that your team can manage in real time to make changes to the routing, to messaging, and the entire customer experience without programmers or rocket scientists that are involved to make that happen. As discussed, people are moving away from multiple vendor implementations, where customers can get frustrated with the high costs and challenges of managing an integration project from two disparate solutions. Of course, downtime is a four-letter word, and your provider better back up their words with actual results, contractual SLAs with real financial penalties, and out clauses for you if they don't deliver on those expectations. And finally, it's a global world. You want a solution provider that can support your offices, your business partners, your outsourcers, wherever they're based around the world. You don't want to have to piece together a solution to support deployments that span the globe. Your provider should operate everywhere where you want to operate. So in the end, you want something that's got a technical fit, the financial fit, and from a flexibility and nimbleness fit as well. One sec, there we go. So let me shift gears here and show you what an omnichannel solution could look like for you. Just give me 1 minute while I get ready. Okay, well, let's shift gears here. So I'm now logged in as Sales Agent 1. I'm currently on a break in a meeting, and this is my little interaction bar that I use to manage my interactions and make myself available and things along those lines. So I'm going to get out of meeting and make myself ready for work and start with some interactions here. So let me answer that interaction. So let me tell you about what you're seeing here on screen. I received an incoming chat, and in this first section, whether it's a call or a chat, I'm going to get some information about that caller or that customer or that patient or that member. In this case, I get the customer's name and sort of where they came on the website. And I get some information pulled right out of the CRM here and displayed. So based upon the email address in this case, I pulled up a contact record match out of the CRM. And in this third pane here, I've got some I have my actual chat interaction with that customer. So I have the customers asking about the return policy. I can interact directly with them right here from this pane. I can also pick from sort of a set of canned responses, in which case I have one for my return policy, and I'll go ahead and send that off. What I have here on that first pane is some additional information. So things like demand. So this is your skills-based routing. Could be this customer was a Spanish-speaking customer. Could have been they were calling about product, A versus product Z. In this case, I'm a VIP customer, shocking, because in the CRM, my tier is considered platinum. So now I'm going to route that call to an agent, not only who is the right language and the right product skill set, but who can lead with our best foot forward, who can handle a VIP customer. Of course, you can relax those standards over time and sort of dial back and find agents that are maybe not rock stars with VIPs, but they're just really good. And then eventually, if I can't find any of them, then fall back to sort of anybody can handle a VIP, things along those lines. I can see things like how long the caller waited in queue, or in this case, the customer waited in a chat queue. I can get links off to any kind of internal or external application. In this case, I can launch right into Salesforce and pull up that record. I have a medical questionnaire that I can use, and so sort of any kind of link can be made available, automatically popped for an agent. And of course, I've always got my disposition codes. In the center section here, you also see I have some information about that contact. And one of my favorite things is the history here. So one of the things that I can see is for every customer, every interaction they've had. So did it come in via an email or a chat? Was it an outbound dialer call? Did it get answered? Did it get abandoned? How long did it wait? Who did they speak with? How was it dispositioned? And everything along those lines. So right at the agent's fingertips, whether it's stored in the contact center solution or in the CRM, and in real time pushed and pulled back and forth, agents will know, is this the first time I've spoken with this caller in months, or is this the 18th interaction this customer's had with my organization? And by the way, they were sending emails in this morning as well. So you can get to that information right at the agent's fingertips. In that case, let me just disposition this call out, wrap it up, or this chat, and move on. In this case, I've now received an outbound phone call. So I was in a preview dial mode. So you can see instead of saying incoming chat, it now says campaign telephony. This was an outbound call for the Sunshine promo. I'm praying for sunshine. So here in back east in the Philadelphia area, looking for some sunshine coming our way. But you can, whether that was an inbound chat or in this case an outbound preview dialer, again, pop in the contact record. I was offered that call. The system dialed that call for me, and now I'm interacting with that customer. On every phone call, all my call controls are readily available to do everything from a warm transfer, where I can come in here and sort of transfer my phone number, transfer to my contacts, other members of the organization. I can see who's on break, who's available, things along those lines. So I can do everything real quick and easy here. Let's go ahead and wrap up that outbound call. And let me throw one more call in the queue. I forgot to do. Sorry about that. So here I'm getting an incoming phone call. So it looks the same any which way you do it. Agents have just one tool to learn, one tool to train people on, not multiple tool sets. You get the third pane in this case, whether it's an email or a chat, you get that additional pane to actually interact with the customer directly right there. So just wanted to give you a sense of sort of what it would look like operating in an omni-channel way where all this information is readily available and the tools are right at the agent's fingertips. We're going to wrap up that call. And let's shift back to our PowerPoint here. So here's my tips on how to maximize the omnichannel experience for your customers. So you have a business, and your business has its own brand, and in order to continue building that brand, you want to have consistency coupled with an exceptional client experience. And with an omnichannel contact center, you can arrange to have the same message spoken to a client that's also written in an online chat or via an email. This gives clients the same interaction and messaging across all of your channels. So one brand, one voice, any which way your customers interact with you. Maximize your omnichannel by providing each client with a personalized experience. Clients get frustrated when they talk to multiple agents and have to explain the issue multiple times. With an omnichannel contact center, customers can get routed, for those individualized experiences. Because your system knows which agent a client worked with last time he or she called, or that client can be routed right back to that same agent each time. If a client works with a specific agent and the client then chooses to interact via chat or email, why not send that interaction right back to the same agent? Let them continue to build that relationship with that agent and feel connected to your business. Obviously, if they're not available, then you get to somebody else, but let's try and build those relationships whenever we can. According to Forrester, 95% of clients use more than one channel to communicate with companies. Each customer has a specific idea of what channel will improve his or her experience. If you personalize each experience by building a relationship with that client and offering a standardized experience, regardless of channel preference, you really want to let the customer dictate how they want to interact with you. Your omnichannel contact center and your CRM can work hand in hand to provide clients with the best experience possible. Here at Evolve IP, our solution allows you to integrate your contact center with your CRM to get that holistic view of your client relationships. You can route customers based upon their value or their status of their transaction. You can provide differentiated service for your best customers and automatically pull up that appropriate customer record every time for your agent. Salesforce claims that 72% of people think self-service support is fast and easy way to handle support issues. This isn't to say that you should make your entire call center self-service, but it shows that clients still don't necessarily want to talk and call to an agent, but yet they still want quick, simple answers, many of which can be automated through technologies. Many of you still want that high-touch feel of an agent, yet you still want to be able to help each client as efficiently as possible. So with an omnichannel contact center, you can build up all those frequently asked questions. You can have template responses so the agents can respond to those chats, emails, social media interactions with a single click, so your clients are getting fast and accurate answers, and you're saving money. Instead of having to train agents to learn multiple tools and channels, train agents to learn just one tool that integrates all your channels. Typically, a multi-channel call center requires agents to learn how to use each channel individually. With an omnichannel solution, you take your multiple channels and seamlessly integrate them into a single agent application. Agents only have to learn how to use one tool, so you spend less time training and more time focusing on improving customer satisfaction. By integrating all of your channels, you get to offer your senior management one simple, cohesive report. It's simpler and it's easier than gathering information from all those different channels separately, like you do with a multi-channel solution. So rather than wasting time consolidating multiple reports on each channel's performance, use an omnichannel contact center that provides you with one comprehensive reporting engine that provides holistic insights across all those interactions, especially when it's married up with that other business or transactional data that we talked about. And finally, not all channels are created equally, which means for your business, some channels may generate more profit than other channels. So in addition to those overarching management KPI reports, an omnichannel contact center will tell you how each channel is doing. Using the tools that come with your omnichannel contact center, you can accurately measure conversion rates, which interactions are most profitable, which customers are most profitable. So your business is unique, and in order to maximize that channel, your contact center, you need to treat it that way. So understand which channels are most profitable and focus on them will allow you to sort of thrive and continue to take that competitive differentiation, competitive advantage. So I'll go ahead and open up. Let's go ahead and open up the floor to questions. Give me one moment to unmute all the phones. Okay. 1 second there.
The conference has been unmuted. The conference has been unmuted.
Okay. So let's open the floor. Any questions out there? I've unmuted all the phones. You now have the ability to ask questions.
You guys support SMS?
Yes, absolutely. Got to these days. The way of the world.
Does it come through just like a chat, or what does it look like?
Effectively, it comes through like I didn't show it, but it effectively comes through looking like an email. So the interaction is similar in nature from the agent's perspective as an email.
Okay, thanks.
There was a question in the chat about CRM integration. We natively integrate with, CRM applications. So from Salesforce to Dynamics to Sage and Zoho and Sugar and a whole host of them. So out of the box CRM integration is sort of an expected these days, so that especially for screen pop and click to call and sort of automatically logging those interactions in the CRM so the agent doesn't have to. From a social perspective, we can integrate with really pretty much any social media tool out there today. Any other questions out there before we wrap up? So, all right. Well then, thank you very much for your time and participation. We hope you found that webinar valuable. We'll send out an email link that includes the recording and the slides and this presentation within the next day or so. We greatly appreciate your time. Thanks again, and have a great day.